Dear student, today I will discuss class 10th biology chapter heredity and evolution. Dear student, we have discussed in this chapter first of all heredity, variation and genetics. First of all we discussed about the heredity and variation. Heredity, that means origin of life on earth, around to established to originate from imaginate matters by a series of chemicals reactions, that means as like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfurs. Dear student, the earlier simple living forms evolves through the gradual and continuous changes and give rise to enormous diversity of microorganisms. Diversity means variation of organisms like algae, fungi, plant and animals on the earth. First of all, the branch of biology that deals with the changes and causes in diversity of living organisms over a period of time is called evolution. Evolution will be count to study about heredity and variation, accumulation of variation during reproduction, sex determination, origin of life, evolution, speciation. First of all, we discussed to count heredity, transmission character, that means resembles as well as variation, that means dominant character from parent to offspring is that forms one generation to next generation is called heredity. Variation, variation means changes, the difference in the traits, that means gene characters, so by the individuals of a species and also by offspring to siblings of same parents to refers a variation. Next, genetics. Genetics means genesis to descends. In brief, genetics is the branch of biology that deals with the study of heredity and variation. The term of genetics was given by William Watson in 1906. We discussed about the accumulation of variation during reproduction. Variation do appear during reproduction when organisms multiply sexually or asexually. That means heredity involves the inheritance of basic body design. That means you can say that similarity or dissimilarity as well as changes will also related variation in the human body one generation to next generation from the parent of offspring. When individuals of new generation reproduce, the offspring of second generation will have two basic body design, the different forms to inherit the first generation as well as develop two different generation. That means I will tell you in next classes from the Mendel's law, one gene of inheritance, that means monohybrid cross. You saw in this diagram, you saw in these charts to the F1 and F2 generation. F1 generation will all characters are dominant and F2 generations you can find to the dominant or recessive characters in ratio, the principle of Mendel's law. Asexual reproduction involves in single parents. That means you see in this diagram involves in single parent when a single individuals reproduce asexually in resultant of two individuals against after some time reproduce to form four individuals. In this way, the large number of individuals are formed after the generation. All these individuals would be similar, however, there would be only a minor difference between them arise due to the inaccuracy of DNA copying. That means genetic character. You can say DNA is a hereditary character will also from transfer from one generation to next generation. Asexual reproduction generates little diversity and sexual reproductions on the other hand generate a greater diversity. So this because sexual reproductions involves two parents, fathers and mothers, and the very offspring receives the characters from fathers and some characters of mothers that transfers from the offsprings. They show a distinct differences amongst themselves as well as forms their parents. The variation accumulated and pass one and more individuals with each generation, and we will observe distinct characters from variations to discuss about the inheritance. Dear student, we have discussed in next classes rules for the inheritance of Mendel contribution. Thank you.